to Renegade Conversations, and welcome to the first episode of Season 3. I can hardly believe we're in Season 3 already. My guest today is an Indigenous chef, a restaurateur, a devoted mother, loving wife, astute entrepreneur, and the visionary founder of A Taste of Atlantic. I'm looking forward to getting to know her a little bit better through our Renegade Conversation. My name is Meryl Cook. I'm an artist, a renegade, and host and creator of Renegade Conversations. My mission is to provide thought-provoking, fearless, and fun discussions with remarkable female rebels who are shaking things up in their respective fields. My hope is to make you question the norms and ignite your own renegade spirit. This episode of Renegade Conversations is sponsored by Helping Nature Heal. Helping Nature Heal is an award-winning landscape design company that has been recognized globally for its work in preventing shoreline erosion and preserving coastal ecosystems. They are an award-winning company based in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, with 20 years' experience restoring ecosystems and helping inspire people to connect with nature. Helping Nature Heal envisions a world where all people realize their deep interconnection with the earth and possess both the knowledge and capacity to dig deep for ecological solutions to remediate human impacts while creating resilient, sustainable communities. My next guest is Jenna White, and I'll read to you a little bit from her bio. Jenna White is a multifaceted individual whose life revolves around the rich tapestry of food, culture, and connection. As an Indigenous chef, restaurateur, devoted mother, loving wife, astute entrepreneur, and the visionary founder of A Taste of Atlantic, Jenna has carved out a unique niche in the culinary world. Jenna's philosophy is simple yet profound. Food brings people to the table and creates a doorway to experience the vibrant diversity of cultures. For her, food is a time machine, a bridge to the past, a means to forge connections, a tangible piece of history, and a vessel to share the essence of culture. In everything she does, food plays the central role, whether she's nourishing people or sharing the profound beauty of diverse culinary traditions. Her belief in the power of simple, authentic ingredients underscores her commitment to providing everyone with the gift of real food. Jenna White is more than a chef. She is a cultural ambassador, a culinary artist, and a force of nature whose mission is to foster understanding, appreciation, and unity through the universal language of food. So welcome, Jenna. I can hardly wait to have this conversation with you. I'm so pleased that you've made the time. So Jenna, I first heard about you on LinkedIn, where I saw that you were the keynote speaker for the Atlantic Business Magazine Awards ceremony. And I loved that you spoke about how this was your first keynote ever. I found this so authentic and refreshing. And when I listened to your speech, I was just hooked. I thought, I really need to reach out to this person and get to know her a little bit better. So thank you so much for agreeing to hop on Zoom with me. I know that your schedule is jam-packed these days. I believe you're making another show for Access Media. I had a show on Access Media as well at one point, and they're a wonderful organization. And you're also taping shows for Bear's Lair and running your restaurant and a whole lot more. So thank you so much for making the time to hang out with me for a little bit and have a conversation. So
my pleasure. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, great. Thanks. So, Jenna, what does being a renegade mean to you?
I guess to me, it means being comfortable in your own skin. It is being confident in who you are and what you believe in and what you want to achieve. And even if it's not following social norms, that's what being a renegade is to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, wonderful. And have you always been a renegade?
No, not even a little bit.
Really? Interesting.
No, my entrepreneurial journey has really allowed me to be more comfortable in my own skin. That and being a mom and having 3 kids watch me, it was really eye-opening.
Can you say a little bit more about being comfortable in your own skin? What do you mean by that?
I mean, there's not one person out there that doesn't doubt themselves. And if someone says they don't doubt themselves, I don't believe. I think it's part of human nature.
Uh-huh.
We all grow as people as we get older.
Mhm.
Essentially, we stay the same, right? That little voice that's always been in our head stays the same. Sure, it matures, but it can go back a little bit. But we always wonder what other people are thinking.
Uh-huh.
It's part of life, right? Like there's reasons that we get uncomfortable when we walk into a new room, because when people are looking at you for the first time, in our heads, we're all going, "Oh my God, what are they looking at? Do I have something on me? Is everything okay?" But
Yeah.
really, like, "Oh, look, there's a new person," right?
Uh-huh.
A
Yes.
lot of it's in our heads. So when we get comfortable with ourselves, we can see beyond that insecurity when we walk into a new
Mhm.
room or when we introduce ourselves to new people or new situations, that
Yeah.
everyone's in it together. Everyone's second guessing themselves. Everyone is wondering what other people are thinking about themselves. And it's something that's universal,
Uh-huh.
but yet it's something that doesn't get talked about very often, right? We
Yeah.
look at people with confidence and we're like, "Oh, I wish I could be like them." We may look like we have confidence when we do certain things,
Uh-huh.
but I promise you, we're just as insecure as everyone else. We're
Yeah.
sure of our own selves. We're sure of what we want to say. We're sure of what
Mhm.
we want to do. So
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier because we're comfortable in our own skin. It's not
Yes.
necessarily that confidence. It's that being comfortable with yourself and what you know and what you want to share.
So it's about your purpose, isn't it? About sort of having something that you want to accomplish and knowing that you're comfortable with that. Yeah.
Exactly. And it could be anything from starting a family to starting a business, right?
Uh-huh.
It's something that can go to just about anything.
And so you say you haven't always been a renegade, but now you are a renegade. So was there a turning point? Was there a getting started with being a renegade at one point?
Probably, but it's not going to be what people are thinking. I was sitting in a doctor's office.
Uh-huh.
I was probably about 32, 33 at the time. This was one of my specialists out of province. And she told me that I would be in a wheelchair by the time I was 35.
Ooh,
I didn't know it one
yeah,
little bit. I told her exactly what I thought of that right in the moment.
yeah,
That's when I decided I didn't really care what anybody thought was going to happen for my life. I
uh-huh,
wanted to like what I wanted. If
uh-huh,
my medical conditions are going to get in the way, they're going to get in the way. But it's not because I left. It's
right,
because I can no longer go in the same manner that I was before.
uh-huh,
So for me, that was a big thing. Somebody's like, "You're going to, this is a big possibility for you." And I was like, "No, I'm not going with your predictions of what my life is going to be. I want
yeah,
more for myself.
yeah,
I want more for my family, and I'm going to work towards it no matter what."
uh-huh. Awesome. And it certainly has served you well.
It has. It has.
Yeah.
I'm still walking. I am very bruised because I've lost eyesight since then, but I'm still
So you're a
walking
little
on
clumsy.
that. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what impact has being a renegade had on your life and career? So perhaps some of the advantages and disadvantages or opportunities and challenges has it presented?
I've become very outspoken on certain things,
Mhm.
and sometimes that's not an overly popular opinion. So that's one of the biggest downsides to being a renegade is you may be very comfortable with what you want to say, but the people around you might not be.
Yeah, yeah.
So you tend to make people uncomfortable sometimes.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it gets you into rooms and spaces that you would not be in otherwise. And that
Mhm.
creates so much opportunity for growth on a personal and professional level that
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about your story of getting into your business and also the Taste of Atlantic? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So I started my business, it'll be 5 years ago this June, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, I started it after two life altering events. First was I developed anaphylaxis and became allergic to solely hazelnuts at the time. So I put my kids to bed, sat down on the couch, and ate an entire box of toffee Bay, something I had done so many times. I used to keep boxes of toffee Bay in my desk, like to give you an idea. Except for this time, my whole box full. and I live 2 minutes away from the hospital, and I'm barely making it.
Wow.
So that was a huge adjustment, because when you don't have food allergies, you don't realize that 90% of the food we purchase contains warnings. This food may contain nuts. This food has been packaged in a facility that, packages nuts.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, your options are gone. You can't go out to eat. You can't go to bakeries. You have to watch everything you do. Going to Costco is like one of the most anxiety-inducing things ever, because they do samples, right? And you see the sample sitting there, and you're like, oh,
I'm getting away from there. Yeah.
who touched this cart first, right?
Yeah.
So it has such a huge impact in your life, and until you actually go through it yourself, or someone really close to you does, you have no idea how life altering is.
Yes.
So that happened, and then a few months later, I lost a big portion of my eyesight and was left legally blind. That really sucked as well, but in a completely different. And it also made the whole nut allergy thing even harder, because now reading stuff is not as easy as it used to be.
It's like,
So it's like,
okay.
really, this is what you want me to do? Okay, I will do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a business out of it. So take that lens, right?
Yeah.
So, I had that pity party for a few years, and I watched my 3 children watching me just shrink into nothing. I was already someone so full of insecurities. I stayed at home. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. And if I did, I was the kid, like I was the person over in the corner, hiding away from everybody. Or if a big group of people came over, I'd be the one who would find a way to go and, French goodbye is like my signature, right? Just, but it was really hard to watch them watch me shrink even more. It was hard for me to go through that, but when your kid wants to go visit their grandparents, you're like, I'm sorry, I can't drive. You can't go visit them. They live hours away. Those things really start to take a toll on you. And you find yourself not only disappointing them, but disappointing yourself. And then you realize you have zero control over the situation. You did nothing. You can't do anything to change it. You can just change course.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I decided, I know my health conditions are genetic. I know that my children's life may not be as easy as I want them to be as a parent, right? Because I know more about what's going to happen for the future for them. And I know that they can't control it.
Right.
But I want them to know they can still control it. And they can still forge their path, and they can still follow their dreams. They just have to make life work for them instead of you. Right? And that's a big part of why I started my business, was I wanted to show my children that it doesn't matter what life throws at you. It doesn't matter if it completely changes. It doesn't matter if you're no longer able to do the things you once were able to do. You can still find a way to find your happiness. You can still find a way to follow your passions. You can still find a way to follow your dreams. It may not look the same way it did before, but there's still a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I started at my farmer's market, Boys Farmer's Market here in Fredericton, June 1st, 2019. I had 2 small folding tables, had a whole $250 to invest in myself. Menu, I had 0 interest in serving. I had a sign that I made on a whiteboard. It's written with my eyesight. You can imagine how pretty it was. I just read. So things were slow at first. It began to pick up traction. The winter months were our best months, which shouldn't have been because we're in the food industry. Then the pandemic hit. We were closed down like everyone else. We don't need to talk about that. Everybody lived it. Everybody knows what
we all did. Yeah.
Right. So I decided again to take a non-conventional approach and build out a business plan and start a full-blown restaurant and bakery smack dab in the middle of the pandemic, right? That's what made sense, right?
Yeah.
Tons of restrictions on restaurants, and I was like, yes, this is what we are doing.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, all of the different health challenges I've had and all of the different things like thrown at me, I was like, you know what? You never know what's going to happen. Like the world just did all that to me, and now it's throwing a pandemic at me. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah,
right?
I just want to be successful with my business.
So I just went for it.
Awesome.
And then we opened in June 2021 at 170 Urquhart Crescent in Fredericton. So I'm in an industrial park, which is not where I wanted to be, but it has been a very, very wonderful home, and I'm not leaving it anytime soon. When I opened the restaurant, we started with our Bannock mixes and those different things. And I really saw that people were interested in Indigenous cuisine. So it really kind of gave me that unique opportunity to share my culture a little further, not just with our packaged mixes, which I just conveniently have them right here.
Your Bannock mix. And where are those available, Jenna?
So you can get those at Sobeys, on our websites, in-house here, Sacred Arts, Lennox Island, Converter Island. There's a lot of different reserves that carry it as well.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, it is. So it was kind of eye-opening to me that people were interested in this stuff. So I started our traditional meal series, which is something we hold 4 times a year. And it's a fine dining event. It's a dry event. And it's a really unique experience. We use traditional Indigenous ingredients in new and exciting ways. And it's a beautiful experience. We sell out every time. Our next one's coming up on June 1st, which is going to be very exciting, because it also is not only our 5th anniversary from starting, but also our 3rd anniversary here in Beijing. So it's going to be a special one. But since those were selling out all the time, it really became apparent that there was an appetite for Indigenous cuisine. So as you can imagine, it's a small network of Indigenous chefs here in the province. So we all get to know each other pretty well. And I saw all the talent. And if we had all that talent here, then the other Atlantic provinces have that talent too. And what better way to highlight that than to create a Indigenous cuisine festival? So of course, I decided to add in a Taste of the Atlantic, which is a celebration of Indigenous cuisine and culture from across the Atlantic provinces. And I bring together Indigenous chefs from all 4 Atlantic provinces. And we put on world-class dining experiences, tasting tents. We bring in artists for workshops and for demonstrations. Last year, we added in a mini powwow. So it's a really, really beautiful celebration of culture. And it's a way for everyone to experience it firsthand and create that appreciation.
Lovely. And do you have one this year?
We do. It won't be until the fall, and we're still working out our locations. It's our first year. So by June 1st, you will have the location of
great. I've been watching your website carefully. And
yes, I strongly suggest watching, because it's something special. And I mean, our fine dining experiences, they come at a pretty big price tag, because you are getting an incredible world-class dining experience. That's why we have all those other opportunities to experience the culture, because not everyone can get those tickets. They are very limited. So we have all sorts of other ways for you to experience the culture and the cuisine firsthand.
That's wonderful. And I love what you said in your bio about, that food brings people to the table, but it's also a way to experience culture. So it's like this bridge to the past. It's a way to forge connections. And I love that philosophy. I think it's very inspiring.
Food's incredible. I mean, food means something different to everyone, but it can be transformative in so many ways.
Awesome. That's lovely. Okay, we're going to take a short break right now. And when we come back, we're going to have some kind of fun and off the wall kinds of questions. So.
Spring is here, and it's time to get out on the land and see what we can do to improve the quality of our gardens and landscapes, our shorelines, and the general health overall. It's time to book your site visit and consultation with Rosemary Lonis, the founder of Helping Nature Heal. If you check out our website and Instagram, you'll note that there is a variety of site visit packages that are quite comprehensive and are sure to please and answer all of your challenges.
Okay, so our break is over. And Jenna, did you bring a drink to share with us today? What are you drinking?
I'm currently drinking specialty coffee. I can honestly say I have a coffee in my hand probably 80% of the day. It is my favorite thing to drink. And it's not just coffee, it is Sabe coffee. These
where's that
are
from?
beans that are only found in South America. So it kind of goes along with our Indigenous cuisine because it's still part of the Americas.
Nice, nice. And so you bring them in and carry them on your website as well? Is that,
It's actually my coffee brand.
it's your coffee bean? Cool. So did you buy the company in South America or what did you do?
No, so we have the beans brought up from South America and we roast them right here in Fredericton.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So
Yeah.
locally roasted,
Locally
wonderful.
roasted, all
Nice.
sourced from the Americas.
Yeah.
Mexico is our biggest producer of our nuts.
Uh-huh. Lovely. Oh, lovely. That's great. Thank you.
And I know Mexican beans aren't the most popular, but they really should be because they're incredible.
Nice.
And the other thing that makes my coffee quite unique is vanilla sugar. It
Nice.
adds this little essence to your coffee, and it's really hard to go back to anything after you start.
Nice. So coffee plus vanilla sugar. That sounds lovely. Well, we'll be sure to put the links on my my website blog post so that people can source them. That's great. Good. Thank you. And Jenna, in grade 2, what kind of a kid were you?
I was a painfully shy kid.
Uh-huh.
I
Wow.
was the kid that couldn't talk in front of the class, that needed a garbage can beside them for a presentation.
Aw.
I have a distinct memory of going to an old schoolhouse for a field trip, and we all participated in class like they would have in the past, and
Mhm.
we did a spelling bee. And when it was my turn, I got up there, and before I could actually spell my word, it was all over the floor.
Oh no.
Not
Oh,
good. I was painfully shy. There's no other way around it.
wow. And look at you now giving your first keynote speech and talking and being on TV and all kinds of things. So yeah,
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
right. Good,
Period.
good philosophy. Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. So here's another question that I often ask in my workshops, and it's a way of getting people to think about outside of the box about their life, about the stories they normally tell about their life. And that question is there a line or a shape that would define you? So if someone were to draw your life or you were to draw you or your life, what would that shape look like and feel like?
Well, I would have to say the infinity symbol.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because it's kind of endless, right? It
Uh-huh.
just constantly goes. It's cyclical,
Yeah.
but it always changes direction. It
Yes.
doesn't stop. It continues. Even
Uh-huh.
if it gets to that low point, it still finds its way back up.
Yes.
So, like me, my life has highs, it has lows, it's cyclical, it all flows together and
Uh-huh.
it's continuous.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I love the way that you said that if it gets to a low point, it just starts to turn around and go back up. And that's kind of what you've done with your life, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is. It also just happens to be the Métis symbol as well. So it's
Oh,
very
is it?
cool. It is,
So,
and it's embedded in every single one of my products.
oh, excellent. And so is it the symbol with the infinity symbol on the side or up and down?
It's horizontal,
Uh-huh.
like this.
Nice, nice. Oh, I didn't realize that was a Métis symbol. That's fabulous. And does it have any specific meaning in the Métis culture?
It's the combination of two worlds, that's
Two
cyclical.
worlds. Yeah. Lovely. Oh, that's very evocative. Lovely. Nice, nice. So, Jenna, what advice do you have for women or other people who want to access more of their renegade or their inner wild self? Like, how would you suggest they get started?
Embrace being uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
I know that sounds like the worst advice in the world, but once you get used to that feeling, it feels good.
Uh-huh.
It's exciting. And trust yourself. You
Mm,
know what you want, you know what's right, you know
uh-huh.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
Stop listening to those voices. Doesn't matter if it's the voice in your own head or someone else's voice. Just stop
Mhm.
listening to it. Just follow your heart and do what you're supposed to do. You know
Mm,
what it is.
You know what it is. That's wonderful. I love that idea that I've often written about how we all have what we need to know within us, And often as women, we look to other people for advice or to tell us what to do. And really, if we can be quiet and really look inside, we know what we need to do. Yeah. Yeah,
We
lovely.
do. We know what we want. Like we really do. And it doesn't matter if it's what society wants for us.
No, no. Awesome. That's very cool. So can you tell me, do you have a question for me?
Why did you start this podcast?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. So, I mean, as an artist, first of all, I started it as a way to get other people's eyes on my art. But mostly I started it because I thought it would be fun to connect with women that I admire, that I maybe don't have another way to reach out to. Um, I thought that it would inspire other people to be a bit more of renegade selves. And really, I also was interested in building a community of people who think outside the box, who stand up for what they believe in, who aren't afraid to use their voice in whatever way they use their voice to take a stand. And yeah, so all those reasons. So, and it's been really fun. It's I can't get over how fulfilling it has been to meet many different people that I, like you and I, probably would never have met, right? Because I don't hang around Fredericton very much. I mean, I'm coming in November, but
Perfect.
and yeah, and I don't go to a lot of big networking events and things like that. So yeah, it's been really wonderful, and I've been meeting women all over the world, really, which is kind of fun, and I look forward to meeting more. So yeah, thanks for asking, though. So, is there anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't talked about today?
One more thing. I am actually now a published author,
Oh,
and I invite all of you to check out With Grace and Grit, Volume 2. It is told, it's got 21 chapters, told by 21 Indigenous women from across the Atlantic provinces. It's about our entrepreneurial journeys and everything that brought us to the point of taking control of our lives. So it launches on June 6th. And you can find that on our website later this week.
excellent. Oh, I'll have to check that out. That sounds wonderful. It's pretty exciting. Have you actually received the book yet?
No, but we got the pictures of the cover, like the front and back cover,
Yeah.
and I got goosebumps. It was,
Yeah.
it's very surreal. I never thought I would write a book. It was never on my
Yeah.
radar anyway.
Yeah.
But they invited me to be part of it and to have a chapter, and
Oh,
we
that's
got
wonderful.
almost a full year to write.
Yeah.
It's a big process. I'm not big on sharing about myself personally. So it's we'll see how I feel after people have read
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's very exciting. The first time I received my first book, the UPS guys came to the door with the with the boxes, and I actually videotaped them because I was so excited that these guys were bringing in boxes of my books, and just to see it in print is very thrilling. So I hope you'll do something fun to celebrate and enjoy that.
Yes. Yeah, we're doing a virtual book launch on the 6th because all the authors were from all 4 Atlantic provinces. So it's hard to get
Nice.
myself in one spot. So we're going to do it virtually and have some
Nice.
door prizes and all that.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for giving me the time. I know you're super busy, and I really enjoyed our conversation, and I think others will too. But yeah, just it's been such a pleasure, Jenna.
Yeah, well,
Thank
thank
you.
you for having me. It's been wonderful.
Oh, my pleasure. I hope hearing Jenna's story of resilience, creativity, and determination has left you feeling inspired and ready to channel your own renegade spirit. If you need a little help getting started, please reach out to me. This episode was sponsored by Helping Nature Heal, an award-winning landscape design company based in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. It has been recognized globally for its work in preventing shoreline erosion and preserving coastal ecosystems. I love that Helping Nature Heal envisions a world where all people realize their deep interconnection with the earth and possess both the knowledge and the capacity to dig deep for ecological solutions to remediate human impacts while creating resilient, sustainable communities. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Renegade Conversations. They're also available where you get your podcasts as an audio version. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Have a great day.